Hello, and welcome to The Meat Incident, a Terrace House podcast specifically designed to get louder and louder at the beginning of every recording. I'm your host, Matt, and I'm joined as always by Matt. Hello, Matt.
Hello, Matt. We did it.
Yes, we did it. No nonsense. Directly into the show.
Yeah, no nonsense. It only took us like a minute to get ready, even though I was like, I have to take out my watch. I have to do like all these things. It's still better than previous recordings that no one cares about because they don't actually hear it ever.
Yeah, they don't know that, but we know it was really efficient.
And now they know because I told them.
Yeah. Welcome to this episode where we'll once again be talking about Terrace House, Aloha State, episodes 9 and 10 for this week. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Before we start to talk about Terrace House, is anything exciting in your life?
Wow, what a way to ask that.
How are you, dude? I don't fucking know.
I'm such a good friend. It's okay. Wow, how's life? Wow,
I
that's
really
so
care.
interesting. Wow, cool. Whoa.
No one really cares, but what?
I'll still talk about it. They have to be forced to know about me now. We're
Good.
friends now. Idolize me. Think that we're best friends and make memes about me, like the McElroys.
Yeah, that'll happen.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna dethrone them. Anyways, what happened this week? So like the past month or so, I've been studying for this certification, which I took on Friday and passed.
Wow,
Which is very exciting. So now I'm a master at TensorFlow and will make AI to replace me in this podcast and never ever have to talk to Matt ever again.
perfect. I think talking to a robot could be pretty fun, to be honest.
Yeah.
You made it as a joke, but that would probably be a really interesting podcast, is like somebody talking to an AI and it's like getting trained the whole time. That actually is probably a better podcast idea than this one. That's fun. That's good though. That's
Yeah.
I guess people.
Yeah, and then I don't know. Last night I built the Fast and Furious Dodge Charger Lego set, which is pretty fun. Drank some Corona, got into the mood, the family. Like broke my fingers doing it because that's what Legos do. If you do it for like 5 hours straight of just like pushing hard plastic. So
Yeah, I don't really know a lot about that. I probably did Legos as a kid. But I don't have a lot of memories of hurting my hands because I was a child, and
you just don't have memory in general. So
yeah, I can't remember anything, let alone like playing with Legos. I feel like every time I played with Legos, I just wanted to have more Legos and more flexibility with the Legos. And so it was just probably like I feel like all I remember is being frustrated at Legos.
I mean, they're a lot better now. Like if you have to, you can do like a lot of things with Legos because they have interesting pieces and ways to do it, which I'm not creative enough to know how to do without like instructions telling me how to do. But every time I'm like, oh, this is like really smart how they did this, and I would just never think to do that myself ever in a million years.
Yeah, there's like those videos online of people building like their own Lego like mechanical things out of Legos. Like some guy built like a paper shredder out of Legos and stuff, and like that's pretty inventive and clever. I feel like what I want is just like all the a million bricks of every single plethora of Lego, and then I feel like I could have fun, but that seems like it would cost a lot of money, and I don't really I guess I don't care that much about Legos, but
I bet there's like some like Lego club thing where it's like buckets of Legos and it's a bunch
that's
of grown
true.
men
Yeah,
just
like once a
fighting
month
over pieces.
Once a month they just send you Legos and you're like, oh fuck, Derek got all the curved pieces.
Oh, it's something like a meetup where you use like a hacker spaces, like a Lego hacker space. We should make this a thing, but not now because of pandemic, but after the pandemic. $1 million idea.
I gotta tell you, as somebody that has checked out several maker spaces for like real things, this would never work. Those things don't make money. They just don't. People build them and they go bankrupt in 2 years and they close, and then it's a warehouse for another maker space to come in and another person to say creatives will come here and do things. They won't. They don't have the money to pay themselves for the shit they make. They can't pay you.
Yeah. I think the issue with like hackerspaces is that like
there's no money in it.
There's some money, and it's like for like the creators, it's just like weird like going someplace else and like relying on like something else like to do everything you need to do kind of thing.
Yeah, it's a problem of you need them to have a bunch of if you're building stuff to different specifications. Like there's a bunch of different things that you might want out of a hackerspace if you're doing like clothing, or if you're doing like 3D printing, or if you're doing CNC milling. There's a bunch of different things you could want, and for your hackerspace to all have all the different tools of the things that you want, a lot of them can get a lot of those things, but then it doesn't seem like putting 2 and 2 together between. I think the idea is you go in there and you build, prototypes for whatever the thing is that you think you want to sell or sell to a company, right? And so then, okay, cool, you use the hackerspace to do this thing. But I think most of the time when people want to go to these places, like all the people who I met at like the makerspace in like Jamaica Plain, it's like a hobby. No one's really making a lot of like money going there and doing the stuff, and I mean there are some success that like technically that makerspace still works. I think there's one in Somerville, North Boston, which is actually huge and like does good business, but it's mostly around, it's not the makerspaces I think as necessarily people envision of like going there and like crazy creative ideas and making the next big thing. It usually seems to be like engaging with a community of other creative people to do fun projects, and the way that one in Somerville makes a lot of money is they host a lot of events, and like they host a lot of like educational events, and people pay them to go and to learn stuff. So I don't know, it's a bunch of, anyway.
Yeah, that's one thing, we can just do that with Lego. Like,
do that that's fair. Yeah, that's fair. I think that would probably, well, I guess how well do you think the Lego, is there like a Lego place that like where's the Lego headquarters? I know about the Crayola one.
The one in Pennsylvania?
Yeah, the one in Pennsylvania, and like people go there for, is there I wonder where Legos get made or anything in the US, and if they, how well does that work out for them, I guess?
Well, I don't think like Lego's like a US company, right? It's based.
I have no idea.
I think it's like a Scandinavian company.
That makes sense. Sure. I assume that too now.
Sure. Yeah.
Hold on.
But there's like a Legoland in the United States. It's like Disneyland, but like.
Oh yeah, you're right. Where is that?
Yeah, I don't know what that is either. So.
Lego.
Just call Dan real quick. Phone a friend.
Lego is based out of Denmark.
Yeah, that was close.
There you go. Pretty good. Dan probably would know that, and would. We have a friend named Dan who's like a big loser, and therefore he loves Legos. So
wow.
He loves.
I'm gonna tell him to listen to this podcast specifically the first 10 minutes of
it. It's a joke. It's just a joke.
Wow, that's so mean.
It loves Legos.
Just because you're jealous that he makes cool Legos and you don't,
Yeah.
You all know that you're jealous that he's working at Niantic right now and you're not.
Yeah.
Because
I love Pokemon.
You love Pokemon. You love the game industry specifically.
I love the video game industry. I think it's good. Yeah, I love Pokemon.
Podcast, you love the video game industry so much. I want to keep working in it. Yeah.
It's true. And also, wait, what's the other game that Niantic made before Pokemon? It's the one that Pokemon Go is just a skinned version of that game. What is it?
Yeah. I don't know what it's called.
All right.
No one knew about it until Pokemon Go came out.
I know, because they needed, you needed a brand to attach to it. Don't they have Harry Potter Pokemon Go now?
Yeah, well, they have a bunch of stuff now. They have Harry Potter, and they're doing a Catan one that they just announced.
That's actually, I would actually do the Settlers one.
Yeah, it sounds like very interesting. I want to know like how they're gonna do it with like the territories and stuff like that. But yeah, they have like this entire.
Just play Pokemon Go and you'll get.
Yeah, they have like the entire Pokemon Go engine that they kind of like license out to different people now and just make cool products with it. So
that's neat.
Yeah.
This is related to Terrace House because
I don't know. What did you do this week, Matt? Before we
That's true. How can I okay, that's fair. I don't know. This week I had work stuff. I played a bunch of Risk of Rain 2 came out of beta, I guess. They hit their 1.0 patch. Risk of Rain 2 is a roguelike game where you go and there's a bunch of different characters that you can be, and you shoot people and you get new abilities. It's neat. I played that with a bunch of different friends this week. I think I thought it was good before, but I think I didn't actually dig into what would keep you playing it. And I think the hook is that a bunch of the unlock. There's a bunch of different characters to unlock, so you have to have that kind of goal that you want to get the other characters, and they have different abilities. So then it gives you more goals. So it's like, okay, now I have to use this person, and I have to do a specific challenge to get their other ability.
Is it cross-platform?
I have no idea.
I'll check it out.
Yeah, it's on Steam.
My cousins and I play games every Tuesday, but they're console boys, so we have to find games that we can.
That are cross-platform, sure.
Cross-platform usually, or I can get on my PS4 on my TV, but that's about it.
Yeah, I've been streaming more Caves of Cud. I'm getting more into Cud. One of the developers keeps coming to my stream and telling me things, which is like cool because then I know how to play it.
Yeah, I think games like Cud like that, you like definitely need that, because I played like Dwarf Fortress for a bit, and like you definitely just need people like tell you exactly what to do for like the first 100 hours of the game before you can actually like play the game.
Just play the game intelligently. Yeah. Apparently there's a mod scene, and there's like a beginner's guide in the mod scene that the developer told me about, and I was like, hey, what if there was like a beginner's guide in the thing?
What if the game told you how to play
told you some of these things? The thing is, technically, like, you could figure out a lot of how to play Cud by playing it, because everything has long descriptions and it tells you about it. But that means like let's just, for an example, you go out into the Caves of Cud and you kill something and you pick up stuff off its body. Then you have to read the item description for like 10 different things. And that's going to take you like 10 minutes, not 10 minutes, but you know what I mean? Like reading it and processing, okay, what does that mean?
Yeah.
And so I learned like a very basic thing, like this is a healing item. I had no idea. It's just like tree bark.
Yeah. That's the thing, like you can like read the items, but if you have like no context, like the rest of the game, that means like literally nothing to you, like what any of it does.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And some of it's just like formatting. Like it'll tell you about the item's lore and then say the effects at the bottom. So like sometimes I'll see something and I'm like, oh, that's like interesting. And someone in the chat's like, hey, if you get your arm cut off, you need to keep this because that salve will regrow a fucking arm, so keep it. And I was like, oh. And like I didn't know that because it was like under, you had to like scroll down on the text to see like the effect, and I'm like, oh shit.
That's so weird. Yeah.
So
not a fan of that style of trial by fire gaming, I guess, where like nothing is explained to you and you just have to keep bashing your head against the wall until
it is fun to keep discovering things, but
I guess.
It's fun. Like I've been having a good time with it. I'm trying new things that I haven't done before. I think that's the real draw of Caves of Cud, is if you are interested in essentially like combat of almost of like D&D, of like an RPG type game set in like a pretty interesting setting to me, and it's a roguelike, then it's pretty, I think it'll do it. It is specifically great for some people. And if you're
a person that this is good for, then it'd be good for you.
Yeah, if this is for you, it's for you. Yeah, it's just really like if it doesn't fall inside your purview, you're absolutely, like, some people look at it and they're just like, no. Then if you look at Caves of Cud and you think no, you're right. Don't.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah. So yeah, that relates because I'm trying new things in Caves of Cud, much like how Yusuke is trying out new things with people in Terrace House, like talking to them.
And Naomi tried out new things, and we're all trying out new things.
We're all trying out new things.
My certification, that was a new thing.
Yeah, it's the theme for this episode.
Yeah, new things, new beginnings.
Matt, we're 15 minutes into this recording.
We talked about very important things that everyone wants to know about, okay?
Yeah, that's fine. So these episodes are pretty, I feel like these episodes are, they're still building. Yeah. It's funny because stuff technically happens. So in episodes 8 and 9 of Terrace House, we're going to lose 2 house members.
9 and 10.
9 and 10, sorry. No, he's right. In episodes 9 and 10, we lose. Yusuke is going to leave and Naomi is going to leave. And that's good. That's good for me. Yeah. Are you happy about that? How do you feel about them leaving?
Makes sense. I don't know. Naomi, like, as we've been saying from the beginning, like, she just, like, nothing. And, like, I didn't remember her, like, at all as a person on the show. And, yeah, she's like, I came to learned English, and I remembered that I actually knew how to speak English. So bye. It's like if I just like stay at this house, I'm just gonna be like living in Hawaii and working part-time, and that's like dumb. So I'm just gonna go back to Japan.
Hey, Armin would like to have a conversation with you, Naomi.
She's like, I can't do that. My boy Armin did that for like 3 weeks straight.
Yeah, Armin did that for like half a year. So how about you eat a dick real
How
quick?
about you learn some fucking respect, okay? You come to my Terrace House?
Oh, I don't want to
you
like
can't do
work part-time and just live in a free house in Hawaii. Okay, dude. What?
Wow.
I'm sorry, you don't want to do what? Yeah, that's which is fair. But yeah, Yusuke leaves, and I'm like happy Yusuke leaves as well, because he was so, I don't have a problem with him as like a person on the show. He was just so afraid for like the majority of his time, and like he definitely grew. And by the end of these episodes, he like says that to the housemates. He's like, yeah, like what would you say to yourself at the beginning of this? He's just talk. And it's like, that's good. I'm glad that he like learned the good lesson, but it's like, yeah, he, you know, our discussion about Yusuke kind of covers like what was wrong with his time in the house, which is like, he's just too afraid to talk to anybody or like really do anything. And like, he's a talented musician. That's great. But like his social game was struggling. And now, I don't know. It's kind of like sad. I don't know. It's like kind of lame that like now he's going to leave the show and he's better at talking to people and having conversations.
Yeah. Well, like even like all the house members like throughout this episode like kept talking about like how much he's grown and how different he is from like the beginning. So he's definitely become better at like being confident in social interactions, which is cool. So it's like nice for him to like accomplish that and kind of like dip out. I also think he's leaving because like
the Lauren thing.
No, not like the Naomi thing I was going to say, because like when he like decided like when Naomi left that he was going to leave, and he said something once. It was just like the original house members are Terrace House to me, so I don't think he like wants to like shatter that like image of the house by like meeting someone new. So I think he's just dipping out and like maintaining that like.
Yeah, I also think he is a little burnt by the Lauren thing though, because
that too.
In episode 9, the debrief he had with a few people and like the debrief he had with Lauren, that was like one of the main points in episode 9. So like my 3 points for episode 9 were Yusuke and Lauren date debrief, you know, how she pieced out on him and didn't have dinner, Naomi leaving, and then Avi and Yu kind of growing closer. So so the Yusuke definitely grew throughout this, but I still think the conversation he had with Lauren, he had a conversation with her where she was like drawing a turkey before Thanksgiving, and he definitely got the impression that like she had a bad time because she told him essentially like, who put you up to the date? Like, did the guys force you to go on the date with me?
Yeah.
He told Avian that like earlier in the episode, and then he had to like do a check-in, and Avian was like, oh, she said she had a good time. So then he feels the need to check in with Lauren, and she's like, yeah, I had a good time, but it was so, I don't know, it's still uncomfortable. Like I feel like anything she said, he would have probably still thought she felt forced to do it. And I feel like that's a really awkward place to be with one of the house members, is like, you know what I mean? Like she kind of went on this date with you maybe out of guilt. At least he feels that, right?
Yeah.
And so that's an awkward place to exist with someone that you're living with.
That's true, because like his conversation with like Avian was like very telling about that. Like he seemed like very down, and like Avian was like, hey buddy, like how's it going? Like how was your date? He was like, you know, like he's like, I just wish like if she was like felt like forced to go, that she just like didn't go with me like at all. And like when and he was like, I think she maybe like went as a friend. Like, yeah, but like when she showed up, she definitely knew it was a good date, and like asked me if like Eric and like Yuya like forced me into it and like all this stuff.
Is that fucked to you? Did that make you think? I was like annoyed with Lauren from that. I was like, dude, why would you say that?
Like, on the date, like, did Eric and Yuya make you do this? It's like, what? This fucking like, let the boy have his moment, like.
Or like, if you think that, like, how is that gonna? That is only a negative comment, right?
Yeah.
There's no way you could say that to somebody and have it not make them feel and make them doubt themselves.
Yeah.
Even, you know what I mean? Like, it definitely feels like, I don't know. There's no way to positively take that. Did somebody did the guys put you up to asking me out? Says the person that you're trying to, woo. Yeah. What?
On the date that you're on with them, like, oh, hey, thanks for the movie, but like, you only do this because like Eric and you force you. Like, well, that's like,
Yeah, were the guys gonna give you a swirly if you didn't take me out? Like, I know that she wouldn't say it like that, but it's just like, what a rough fucking, way to phrase this whole thing, huh?
Yeah, and like even like Avian was trying to like patch up. She's like, oh, like Lauren said that she wanted to like enjoy the movie, like wanted to get to know you better. But like even after that, Avian's like, yeah, but from like your expression, it sounds like that's not how it went at all. And I'm shocked from like what Lauren told me, like what you were telling me, like the disconnect is like wild.
Yeah, there's definitely like a vast disconnect between how she presented it to the girls after and how he felt about it.
Yeah.
He clearly like, yeah, I know. Now knowing that even that one line happened since the last episode, no wonder he immediately knew after the date, like, she's not into me.
Yeah.
Does not like me.
Like
no.
And like the worst part is like later on in the episode, like Lauren's like at the punch bowl helping out Eric and stuff, and they're like,
oh my god, I hated
on the
this.
Date. It's so bad.
I hated this. This is the thing that I don't. This is a thing that like, if it happens in real life, it doesn't feel good, right? You're laughing behind someone's back. But also for this kind of interaction to play out on television makes you even look kind of slimier.
Yeah.
Not for Lauren, but like kind of for Eric and his friend, the way they're laughing about it. So Eric has this conversation at setting up this punch bowl thing with his guy friend there, and Lauren comes by to like work on design stuff. And basically Eric was like, hey, so that date sucks, huh? Date sucked shit, huh? You fucking hated that. And she's like, like you wouldn't have, like, okay, well, if it was on a Thursday, would you have still gone to dinner with him after? And she was like, yeah, I would have. He's like, oh, so the grandma thing wasn't just an excuse. And she was like, no, I really did have to go like eat with my grandma or whatever. And like the guys are kind of chuckling about it, and the expression on her face was just like, yikes, Roonies. Did not I don't know.
Yeah, but like also at the same time, she's kind of like, from my perspective, she was kind of going along with it and like feeding into it. And she also said that she's like, oh, the date was fun, and like I could tell that like he wanted to talk to me more. And they're like, oh, it's like the movie like wasn't like the issue that you're like not talking. She's like, no, the movie wasn't an issue of him not talking to me. I just didn't want to like talk to him.
Yeah, I still think she didn't seem like as jazzed about that conversation as they did. I think she would just essentially not want to talk. I feel like she wouldn't want to discuss the date anymore, essentially. Yeah. Especially since like she seemed like she's kind of was into Eric a little bit. I thought it was really interesting that like also later on Eric talks, I think in the next episode, in episode 10, Eric talks to Yuya about this about Lauren and essentially how if Lauren was maybe closer in age and if she didn't date Yusuke, then like he might have considered like doing some stuff with her. But I think he said like the age difference and like her being, her going on like a date with Yusuke kind of like made him really think twice about it and just was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. But I don't know, that was like, that also puts an interesting sheen over that previous scene, right? Yeah.
Well, I think like in the scene that you're talking about, like what he was talking about was him basically taking a step back so Yusuke could like chase Lauren, and I think he even said that he was like happy that like he'd much rather like Yusuke took her out and like this happened than like him going on a date with her, because like the benefits for like Yusuke like far outweighed like whatever he wanted to do with Lauren. So
yeah, I agree. I still think it was something kind of like, it makes me think kind of like he's not like peeing on his territory, but he's almost kind of like, hey, you didn't have fun, right?
Yeah.
In like a cocky kind of way where it's like,
oh, I could have done better.
yeah essentially like that kind of and then like maybe I'm reading into it too much, but that I would, that made me think of that,
for sure I can see that being the angle.
Yeah. So, I know one of the other things that we should probably talk about is, so Naomi's leaving. I almost don't know like if there's that much to talk about Naomi actually leaving, but it kind of shows that there's this tension between Lauren and Avian, really.
Or like just like Lauren like the other girl was for the most part kind of.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, Avian doesn't want this confrontation though. I think because there's a confrontation over Avian's leaving, and they basically plan to do this. Naomi, sorry, fuck, Naomi's leaving, and they plan to like do this like goodbye thing.
Yeah, so Naomi like told Avian she was leaving, and it's like, Avian, can you make sure everyone's like here on Sunday for like my goodbye or whatever.
Right. Yeah.
And I guess like at some point they made plans like Thanksgiving, and like everyone agreed to it, and then like Lauren came back. It's like, oh, you want to do that day? Oh, sorry, I have to do family events that day.
Yeah, it's a family Thanksgiving thing. Yeah, so
kerfuffle happens.
Yeah, Avian and Lauren have like this kind of, not like a blowout, but like they have an argument essentially over like Lauren trying to change the date last minute, and she's like, well, like, you know, I'm gonna see my family on Thanksgiving, and Lauren, I mean, it's like her fault.
Yeah.
For trying to essentially, she double booked herself on Thanksgiving, and so
it's not like Thanksgiving, it's like the 24th.
The 24th, yeah, which isn't Thanksgiving, right? Wait, is it?
I don't think so. Thanksgiving.
Wait, isn't Thanksgiving? I don't fucking know. Thanksgiving. When was the shot? 2016.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, it's 24th.
Is it?
Yeah. 2020. Does it change every year, or is it always the 24th?
It's like the last Thursday of the November, third Thursday.
Yeah,
of November.
It's the 26th this year. So, but 2016, if this was when this was shot, which it might be, it was the 24th.
Gotcha.
All right. Anyway, Peebus. So, but so there's this conflict over Lauren's double booked herself, and so she's trying to wriggle out of the date, and she doesn't know that they're forcing this date because it's essentially a goodbye for Naomi. And Avian doesn't present that information in this confrontation. I think Lauren did misstep in trying to almost make them like feel bad for like doing, you know, like trying to force her into this date even though she has like a family thing, and she's like, my family is going to be mad that I'm placing the importance of Terrace House over my family, and she's like, you did this, why are you putting this on us? And I kind of agree with her. I totally understand that like your family is going to be mad about that, but like that's not their fucking problem.
Yeah, well, I think like the main thing like Avian's getting upset about was like Lauren's like, oh, I guess I could do it, yeah, sure, but then I'll get in trouble, but that's my fault. Avian's like, why would you say that? Like, if you're gonna handle it, like, don't make us feel bad about getting in trouble.
Yeah.
And also like the entire time it just seemed like Lauren just like didn't communicate with her family that this is like even happening. So like it's like Lauren's like, oh, like I can't go because my family. And Avian's like, you can just like explain to them that like you want to like spend like the morning with us and like show them afterwards. Like just like explain to them like, have you even like done it? And Lauren's like, oh, but my family get mad. It's like, really? Just like
talk to them.
Just talk to them. And Lauren's like being like super defensive about that.
Yeah, I think Lauren has like an issue communicating sometimes with people, and like I mean, I don't know, everyone does.
I also feel like she just like hides behind her family a bit to like not do things she doesn't want to do.
Yeah,
like,
no, I agree.
And like to your point of like Avian like not presenting the fact that this is like Naomi's like last holiday in the house, like that shouldn't even be like an like shouldn't have to like tell Lauren that's like Naomi's
she
last
shouldn't
day
have to guilt her into it. She committed to this thing, and now she's trying to push it back on them.
Like it shouldn't matter if it's Naomi's last day, like anyone's last day. It's still like the holidays, and they all agreed to spend it together. So like, why is one like being like, oh, my family's like just like spend like the morning with us and like go to your family like in the afternoon? Like they'll definitely understand. Like I don't understand like why.
Yeah. No, it's for sure like she goofed on the scheduling, and then she's just like being a turd about it. I don't know. It's interesting. I feel like this is just like a human error, right? But it is kind of like the weird doubling down on. I feel like, I don't know. Is this like a few? Do you feel like this has happened a few times with Lauren, where she kind of messes up, and then or just steps into something, not even necessarily messes up, but she gets into a certain situation, and then she kind of tries to like throw it onto other people and be like, wait, this is your fault actually. And it's like, it's not really their fault. Like this is, you know what I mean? Like, I know she's only 18, but like you kind of have to take responsibility for your own mess at certain points. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even intentional or unintentional.
Like the whole conversation just seemed to be Lauren trying to like throw responsibility off her for not going to Thanksgiving, and her like not wanting to like even like attempt to like even like split the day or like do anything to like remedy the situation.
Sure.
She's like, nope, I can't. Sorry, this is all you guys' fault for making it this day. Like I can't.
Yeah.
There's physically nothing I can possibly do to remedy the situation.
Yeah.
Even it's like, fucking talk to your family. Like, what are you?
Yeah. And then like essentially Naomi has to make Lauren feel better after that conversation by going to the girls' room and being like, hey, we wanted it to be this day because I'm leaving. And then like they cry together, and like I think it kind of like covers up this bad conversation. But
Yeah,
I don't know, I almost hope there's like more drama between.
Yeah.
I think Avian and Lauren like still could be friends, but I like that. I think Avian's older. How old is she? 26, 27? Is she 26?
26.
I don't want to say she's like 26. I mean, she's
26.
Avian. That's a lot of maturing that happens between 18 and 26.
Yeah.
But it is kind of like adult gut checks where Lauren had that. I mean, you know, it's fair. It's totally fair. She's the age of somebody who would be going into college. And this is a person, you know, that's like far past that, is in the working world, and like is like, hey, handle this like an adult would, you know. This is your situation. So yeah.
Yeah. Also, like, again, like, oh, it's like my first and like last holiday in like the United States, and Lauren's like, oh yeah, I didn't know that was happening. So it's like, yeah, but like, even if Naomi like wasn't leaving, this would still be like a lot of like, this would still be like her first Thanksgiving in the United States, and like that's still like the same like significance. And
it's the same,
like, the same weight.
Yeah, it's still kind of the same thing as the surf date. She doesn't have anyone else. Like this should, to me, that kind of called back to that whole thing of like, yeah, the guy's kind of dipped out on her on the surf date, but like she is in the situation where like she is totally there alone, and like you have your family there. You know what I mean? Like everybody else like has a lot of the other people have people around them, and like she does not.
Yeah.
She's very reliant on them. And like, I don't know, we can kind of relate. Like when we studied abroad, you had the people that were there, and like I feel like, you know, they're like, people did like the holidays up there and like didn't go all the way back home. Some of them, they like stayed in Montreal, and so it was like, you know, it's like a thing to like rely on the people that you have, because there's only 30 of us here.
Yeah, exactly.
So
everyone else speaks French-ish.
Yeah, Frenchish. Yeah, that's a good word. I mean, they speak French. Sorry to any Canadians in the chat.
Well, I just meant that like they speak French, but they're also like mostly
speak
English.
Yeah.
But it always felt like real bad just trying to speak them in English, because you're just like, I'm a dumb American.
Also, some of them don't. Well, that's not really fair, but some of them don't. Yeah, straight up. Like some people in Montreal don't speak English, but it's definitely a minority. Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Kind of moving on. I don't feel bad for like hounding on Lauren for this, but it is another one of those things that's just like, this is awkward because of her immaturity in a situation.
Yeah, it kind of left like a bad taste just for being like super defensive about this and not even like trying to compromise with them at all. It's just like, ugh.
Totally. So through this episode, there's like kind of a light. Let's talk about this because it's lighthearted and funny. There's two parts of Critics Couch horniness that I've noted. One of the Critics Couch horny moments, Exhibit A, is when Lauren like cries during these confrontations, and like they're like, you got some makeup on it, and so she does this thing where she like puts her hands on her face delicately and like wipes her eyeliner down, and it like looks very dramatic, right? And she did that like totally on purpose.
Yeah.
And
there's like a lighthearted moment to like lighten up like the argument, and everyone can always like, ha 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 ha.
Yeah. And you from the Critics Couch was basically like, Lauren does some things that are very erotic.
She's just so erotic all the time.
She's so like that was like how you like was like, man, she just does certain things that really get me going. And it's like, man, if anybody had any doubt that you was a little you know, you would go for anyone, let's just say.
What's this weird that you was like the older woman on the couch, so
you as the older one on that couch who's like probably in her 40s or early 50s, and she's basically down to clown with it seemingly anything. That's just how I'm reading you right now. But so there was that instance I thought was pretty funny, and then there's this other one where they go to the beach at a certain point for it's kind of like a send off for Naomi before she leaves, and the Critics Couch also talks about like that scene and like, hey, did you see Avian's ass in the water? Like, and they're like, oh yeah, only the curves a woman can have. Yeah, monk. Yeah, they were. Everybody on the critics' couch was like, oh, nice ass. Yeah, everyone's real horny for this one. So I thought that was funny.
Yeah, they weren't snorkeling, and like the entire time the cameraman just basically was like followed Avian's ass around, and that's like the only scenes that they showed. This is Avian swimming in like her ass in the water. It's like,
yeah, maybe I shouldn't be so hard on the critics' couch when that's the only thing they showed of the beach day. It's like the women's ass is underwater, and like Avian's ass was 90% of that footage.
Yeah, there's a sea turtle that they zoomed in on like once, and then just went back to Avian's ass as she chased around the water.
Here, don't forget Avian's little dick.
Don't forget about that
little dick over here. Yeah, that was a thing. So yeah, I don't know. This episode is really like the main like thing they're trying to talk about is like goodbye to Naomi. It's not that interesting. Naomi's leaving. I don't know. Is there anything you want to talk about throughout like the goodbye of Naomi process?
During like I've like noted in like the Thanksgiving dinner they like all poured like some like bubbly juice into like the glasses, which is probably champagne, but then Amy announces like, apple cider.
That's very good.
I'm like, is it apple cider? Or are they just like, hush hush about it?
Yeah, that's
Bob,
excellent.
Like, there's a kid like behind like the centerpiece of the
table. That's extremely good. I like that a lot. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, and then also like, at the end of it, it's like, I don't know, they have like the barbecue, and everyone's like, like everyone tell me about what you're gonna be doing when I'm gone. And like Yusuke just like pulls her aside. And then...
Yeah, that's probably the only really interesting about her leaving is that Yusuke takes the opportunity to tell her, "Hey, I'm gonna leave too." And I think he says like I had a good experience here. You know, like I grew a lot from this whole Lauren thing.
Yeah.
So
rely on Eric or Yuya anymore, and I can talk and
yeah.
And then it was like, you're completely different from before. And this is also when he says that, like, the members of the Terrace House are the members of the Terrace House. So it's just like, he's like, yep, so I'm gonna peace out.
Yeah. Kind of like we said at the top, I'm not like super sad about her or him leaving.
Yeah, I mean, it makes like both of them make sense.
Yeah. I think it's good that both of them are just, I mean, for them personally, but also for the entertainment value of the show. I did, you know what I mean? Like, it's just sometimes like certain people just aren't exciting to have on a show, and like that's part of the charm of Terrace House is that it's low key, but it's like, that no one would want to watch me just doing my life.
Yeah, and no one's watching this, like, staying in front of the computer all day, programming, and then watching like Netflix.
Yeah, it's not like it's no, and him playing ukulele is interesting, but he's a pretty reserved person, and it doesn't they don't necessarily have a lot to play off of for television content other than him trying and failing at love. And so like, is he just gonna do that more? So I'm cool with him bouncing.
And he's like, both of them like accomplished the goals, which I think, like, thinking back to like last season, I don't know if like anyone really accomplished.
Did they accomplish their goals though? I want.
They said they did.
Yeah,
they accomplished to the point where they're comfortable leaving the house.
All right, I think this is like a trope. Everybody, when they leave, has to justify, I accomplished my goals vis-a-vis this. Everyone tries to justify that. Fucking bullshit. What goals did they achieve? Yusuke showed up and got dunked on by like a girl that was like way out of his league, and
I talk to girls.
That's fair. All right, great. He got slam jammed once.
Listen, we only get slam jammed to know that that wasn't so bad. Like, that's like the worst case scenario. So I'm getting slam jammed by Lawrence. Now he knows.
God.
Now he can ask out all the.
So that should have been his intros. Like, I've come here to try and talk to women and probably get turned down, and hopes to learn something about myself. That should have been what he set out as his goal.
It was important. The subtext was there,
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Basically, yeah, you're right, because you're coming here to like find love, or find like someone, like start dating someone you've never done it before. Essentially, you're saying like, I gotta try this at least once.
Yeah, I don't think did he say he was here to find love, or was he just like, I just want to like get better at talking to girls?
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, basically. And then what's her name's point of being on the show? I can't remember her name. Naomi. Her express purpose was to learn English better, and like she wanted to find someone to date. Like,
for sure.
And like, basically her leaving was she was like, oh, you know, I actually know English pretty good. And like, sure, yeah, like you do know English pretty good. That's good. But the other express purpose of her being there was like to find someone, and like basically she just realized she like isn't emotionally ready to be to like find someone, and her best attempt at that was like trying to date a guy who had the same name as her last boyfriend. So like, to me, both of them get a big F. Like, you didn't achieve anything. Like, it's totally fine. You can come on the show and like not quote unquote. I know that they have to do this. They essentially like, because if they don't say it, then they're considered a failure. But like, you don't have. Don't set yourself up for failure, then, dipshits.
Everyone should pick that one guy from the latest season who just like pieces the fuck out without telling anyone. He just like disappears in the middle of the night. Everyone wakes up next one, they're like, yeah, he's gone. They're like, what? He's like, yeah, he just like left at like 6 a.m.
That's a baller move. That's sick as hell. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, you can, hey, if you don't achieve whatever you come on a Terrace House to achieve, you don't have to lie about it. You don't have to lie to us. I don't fucking care. Like,
we see the truth. We see through your lies.
Yeah, I mean, it's just be real. Let's be real with each other for a minute. You both came here, you got emotionally dunked, and now you're leaving. Like, that's what happened.
We see through the lies of the Jedi. It's fine.
we are speaking the hard truths of Terrace House. It's all, if you believe anyone else's podcast about the fake news of the love of them achieving their goals, this is the real. What's one of the names of those like bad websites that like says they're the only truth tellers? That
Stormfront.
That is not an acceptable answer.
How is it not?
I mean,
all your criteria.
You're right, but it's not good. Infowars. Yeah, we are Terrace Wars. Terrace House Wars. We are Info House.
Info House.
Yeah, you come here to find the real information at Terrace House.
We've opened up a third eye.
We have brain pills for you to try. Come here and try this Eric's coffee from
turns into a reptile like the overlords who live underneath the Earth's crust.
Man, I hope that people listening to this podcast get any of these references. Because if you don't, it's just this whole bit is not fun. It's not gonna fly. Episode 10 is a thing. Basically, so at the start of it, the main key points I have for episode 10 are Eric's launching his coffee bar and he's gonna leave after. Avian and Yuya continue to grow. That's just kind of a common thing throughout these episodes. It's not super worth talking about, but like Avian and Yuya have like several scenes in both of them where they have conversations and it's cute. We can talk about that in a bit. Yusuke is gonna leave the house. Naomi leaves the house in the very beginning, and there's new housemates. Let's talk about Eric, I guess, some more. So he tells Lauren. I think we actually already talked about this earlier in our podcast. He tells Lauren that he's like going to leave the house after he finishes the coffee bar. And hey, Eric might be the first person to leave the house that's actually achieved what he set out to do.
I was going to say, if you fucking say that he didn't do it.
No, he did. Eric's the first one of the season, in my opinion.
I mean, in previous seasons, we had Arissa who left after her hat thing. And breaking a boy's heart.
Fucking Arissa.
That's
fine. She was a fine
dirty
housemate.
No, she's not.
No, fuck her. Fuck you. Can't believe you did like Armin.
Or boy. Always be an Armin stan.
Good lord. Yeah, so that was interesting. I don't know. I'm kind of... How do you like? That's good. How do you feel about like Eric's leaving and like the conversations he had with people about it? He talked to Yuya about it. I feel like that was a pretty interesting scene because Yuya said during that Avian isn't the prettiest out of the three girls when talking about like him dating Avian. I guess, which is a wild thing to say to someone about this girl you're trying to date.
Yeah, he's like, she's not the prettiest, but I've really fallen for her. So I think like Eric's like, what happens like a prettier girl comes into the house? Like, what are you gonna do? Like, he's like, well, like Avian's not the prettiest girl now, so like that's not
it doesn't matter. She's not that great looking right now, dude. Come on.
Yeah, dude, open up your third eye, Eric. Come on.
Also, I don't whatever. It's just not a great way to talk about this person that you're going to try to date. I can't wait till this episode comes out and they get to watch it. And Avian's like, "Hey, I noticed you said I'm not very attractive, so I'm going to take my ass out of here. Bye. No longer looking at this thick ass."
Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like the Chris Couch, I think, said that he's like very blunt with his words and like a 18-year-old because he just doesn't think sometimes before he says things. So
yeah.
Whatever.
It lines up for him, but I don't know. It is kind of sad that like I hope Yuya. This makes me think of some of the broier housemates from the previous season, where there was a couple of guys who were just like really, they almost feel like frat boys to me. You know, they just have frat boy energy about them. Not maybe the worst kind of frat boy energy, but polite frat boys, let's say. Where they can just kind of bro out together, and Yuya and Eric have this kind of friendship that felt good. I liked watching them interact in certain ways. They just felt like, close. Yeah,
it was like nice because like Eric was kind of like an older brother to like guide Yuya, but Yuya like also helped like Eric feel younger and like act more like an 18-year-old again. So they kind of like a nice balance between the two of them. Yeah. But like if another member comes in that's like more fratty and like gets a hold of Yuya, then who knows what's gonna happen.
That would be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't think that's going to be one of the new housemates.
No, I remember the two new housemates very well. So
I remember one of them, but even if you're watching this now, seeing the introduction of the one new housemate should clue you in that this is not a bro. He is an interesting type of person. The man that is coming in,
samurai.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's happening. Eric's going to leave once this is all done. But also, so some of the other things that happened. Naomi leaves at the beginning of this episode. It's not worth talking about because we talked about her leaving. Yusuke leaves during this episode. I guess that is worth talking about because he wrote a song and he performed the song in front of the house, and then he leaves the house the next day or some shit. A few days later, whatever. He performs the song, they have a dinner, he leaves the next morning. But the song that he performed was about his time at Terrace House. And I did want to kill myself while listening to it. How did you feel?
I don't think I was super paying close attention to the lyrics, so you might have to enlighten me.
Man, I wish you did. It's just awkward. It's awkward to write a song about this experience and not have it sound very cheesy.
Yeah, that's true. It was very cheesy. Like, I walked up to the door and blah, blah, blah. I was super shy.
Yeah, it's just like, it was literally just like a book report of his time at Terrace House in the song.
MLA formatted 5-paragraph essay of his time at Terrace House.
Seriously, it's just like, it just kind of stick to non-lyrical music is my advice, because boy howdy. Listen, I'm bad at words. I could not write a better song. Great, good on you for having the gall to write a song and then perform it in front of people with the words being that bad. It was
supposed to be emotional, Matt. That's emotional send off.
Yeah, great. Do you know what emotion it gave me? I wanted to kill myself. Sorry.
When you went in the house, Matt. It's not for you. It's for them.
Did anyone like it? I mean, I don't know. They seem it. To me, their reaction was also like, oh, that was nice. But it was like the kind of thing that's like when someone awkwardly bears their soul, but it's like corny in a way that doesn't resonate. And like, it's nice that he did that. It was just super not great.
Yeah, I don't think they got it because like afterwards he's like, "Yep," and I'm leaving the house. Like, that's why he said this. And then after he did that, Eric's like, "Oh yeah, also I'm leaving the house," and kind of like stole the show from him.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave the house after I build my thing. Yeah, I feel like that song and like his exit typifies his experience at the house for me. Like, really, it really shows exactly like kind of the weakness of his presence, which is like he is good at this music thing, but he's still like child-brained, and so that's why the song is really cheesy and it's kind of awkward because he still thinks of things kind of in the way a kid would.
He's still like
18, and that's what I'm saying. He's still so mature and stuff like that, and I don't know. For some people, like I don't know how much more love I have in my heart for watching people come in who are I don't know, just like weirdly immature and certain, like, I know I'm not a mature person, I'm a dipshit, but like some of these things are just like they're awkward, right? It's very cringy.
Yeah, definitely could. If I could write songs at 18, I could have seen myself doing something like that Yusuke did.
Yeah, for sure.
The whole like writing awkward notes in class, just amplify that up to 1,000,000 and just write a song instead.
Yeah. I feel like that's, I guess, essentially like what I'm like didn't like about the thing. It's just like, I don't know. Like, and also nobody on this show, I feel like the Critics Couch also wouldn't call that out and be like, well, maybe that's not fair. Sometimes they do call out like dumb, cheesy things for what they are, but it feels like every time someone tries to do something emotional, like, yay, you tried to have an emotion. And it's like, okay, but it was like awful. It was like not good to consume for my ears.
That's true.
Whatever. It's fine. I'm kind of happy he's leaving because I don't think he's super interesting to watch.
We're gonna get like a huge
tonal
shift. Yeah, like a huge tonal shift. I think because this is the first time we've had like so many members like leave at the same time. Like Naomi and Yusuke left at the same episode,
and Eric's gonna leave shortly.
Probably like next episode.
So it should be I'm excited a lot about it because honestly I was talking to Christina about the show today. I was talking to Ann on the phone about the show, and I feel like right now I'm like shockingly disappointed in the lack of drama or like intrigue. Like I don't know, I just kind of think I think season 1 also started off like really slow. But I'm surprised. I don't know, maybe I'm just totally misremembering, but I thought I still, when we recorded this podcast, I was like, I like these people more than the starters from the other season because they talk, and I think they are a better baseline. But there's really not any confrontations that kind of come up. They are squashed very quickly and they're quickly addressed, but maybe that also kind of ruins some of the tension in the show because people just handle things like normal people. They don't let them boil over.
I think like the issue is, and there's like the same issue that happened last season and will probably continue happening. So like the first house members just kind of like set up expectations and stuff because they all move in together at the same time. So like it's like some like weird, like probably unspoken rules that they all decide upon because it's like weird and like interacting. So like things just kind of like settle naturally that way. But when someone new comes in, they just like stir shit up like hardcore because like they weren't there for like the initial like feel of the house, and now they're like coming in and just like a weird just like spike like in the middle of like what of like vibe was going on in the house, and just like
you're right,
recalibrate and rebalance out the house afterwards, like all the drama comes from.
It is it is a good natural shakeup because if you think about it, even if you were just living in an apartment with like some other people and then like after a month and a half some of them moved out and new people moved in, that's going to shake things up like in your day-to-day life. So like, and the fact that they're coming in with kind of the undertone of like trying to date someone probably, so that that'll always kind of shake it up in a fun way. So I'm excited to get new people in because these people ran into Naomi and Yusuke basically ran into the relationship wall, and not even necessarily in a spectacular fashion, just kind of floundered, and they're like, well, I guess I'm out of here. I
mean, I also feel like, I don't know, like there's like I like the first house members. I feel like half of them are just kind of there like promoting themselves. Like Yusuke is kind of like promoting Genki Kai, Eric's promoting Punch Bowl, Avian's promoting like a new bikini line that she talks about this episode. So they're all like kind of like promoting their like businesses.
Their brand.
So it's
brand,
hashtag branding. So it's just like
no, I know what you're saying. Yeah, if you like, a lot of people come on the show with that attitude or like what they're trying to do, but it feels like, why else are you here? You're just for branding. So like I feel like a lot of like the intro houses, like a lot of those people for like branding, so this felt like super still because they weren't gonna like stir up like major drama because of the branding image type thing. Yeah, for sure.
Unless a Natsumi who just went balls to the wall. So
no one is a Natsumi, right? They dream of being Natsumi. Let's move on to we'll talk about the new housemates a little bit, because they don't really get super. I mean, one person actually joins, and then one person comes to the house at the end of the episode, but we don't get any sweet juice from it yet, really. New housemates are a girl and a guy. Shocking. The one who actually shows up to the house and we find out her name is Anna Haneshi.
Sure.
Anna.
I didn't get a last name. I didn't write it down, but
it's Anna. Yeah. So Anna comes to the house. Hannah or Anna?
Anna.
Okay, I thought it was Anna. I thought you were correct. Good, great.
No. I think I just misspoke myself. I was like, oh.
Okay. So yes, Anna comes to the house. Anna has been living. She's from Japan, but she's actually been living in Hawaii for several years, which is like cool. And apparently, she went to school there, but she just stayed because she just likes it. And she's like, I'm really surprised I just stayed this long. But hey, turns out living in Hawaii is pretty cool. Yeah. She has like 2 part-time jobs essentially. And I don't know why she's really coming onto the show. I think she just wants to meet people. She said she wants to find a boyfriend that is muscular and hot and she can surf with. So yeah, hats off to her.
Surf with. Also, she like doesn't look Japanese at all. She's like very dark skinned and just like looks like a natural Hawaiian.
Yeah, she said people remark to her there, wow, your Japanese is good. And she's like, I'm Japanese, you dipshits. So that's funny.
She does not look like a traditional Japanese at all.
Yeah, I mean, she's been there like guess what? Like when you're in the sun all the time. She works on like a sandbar.
It's like I don't go out in the sun ever. So
yeah. I mean, so yeah, she works on like a sandbar. I think as like essentially kind of like a safety person. And also she works for like a clothing store or something. Restaurant, whatever. Yeah, another part-time job. But see, she seems chill, and I hope that. I mean, she wants to date someone who is into surfing, so maybe there could be like some love triangle drama. But I also don't know if I don't know. Do you think Yuya will go for? Yeah, I agree. I want that drama, but I don't think Yuya's gonna go for it. To be honest,
I think the show's like trying to like pitch that drama. It's like, oh no, we got a surfer girl who's gonna come after Yuya, especially since like they went into it in the beginning about like Yuya and like the thing with like Avian and like here's this new girl. She likes surfing and wants a surfer. Yuya surfs. Oh ho ho ho.
Yeah,
like, I don't think Yuya will care like at all.
I agree. That would be neat drama, but I don't see it. And so they also introduced this new guy who we don't find out the name of, but he's in LA right now, but he seems to also be from Japan. He works at a restaurant and he tells his boss like, hey, I have to quit this job, but I got to go join Terrace House. And it's a step on my journey to becoming an actor. Also on my journey to becoming an actor, I need to find a true love and feel true love to act good.
I need to find true love before I turn 30 as a 29-year-old man in order for me to become a good actor.
If only I could find true love, then I would be good at acting.
Yes.
That's not how any of this shit works. You're going to fail at your mission, sir. I can fucking tell you that straight off the bat because of your perspective on the world is fucked. If you think that's what's keeping you from acting success, you're high.
I don't know if he's thinking it's keeping him from acting success in general. I think he just wants to.
I think even have that in your fucking mind in the goddamn realm of possibilities as to that would help you become a good actor. I think you're fucking high. There's no like. Listen, he's like, I need to experience this to be good at acting. It's like, what? I don't.
Do I think it happened?
It's in his head that like he needs to find love to be good at acting. He said it.
I think he wants to find like love and experience love before he becomes like too old and whatever. But like I think like he just like is overhyping it for Terrace House just to get onto the show. Like when he like did like his like applications, like I need to find true love before I turn 30, and my samurai honor code demands me to find my love.
Yeah, he wants to be in samurai movies. Yeah, he's a fucking idiot. Get him in here.
Now he's on the show. He's like fully commit to it forever.
Yeah, I think part of the love thing though is that he thinks like if he finds love, then he will expand his emotional horizons so he can then act better. And I guess that probably helps. Having real life experiences probably helps you as an actor, express those real life experiences. But like, it doesn't track
like
to
those
me.
People who like feel like they have to do things before like certain ages. Like I have to find love before I turn 30, otherwise I'm never gonna find love. So I've got to do it before like my acting career takes off. Got to find my true love.
It really makes you wonder, what has this person been doing up till now? Like, I don't know. I don't know. You don't always find like the person you're gonna be with and whatever. Like, I'm not saying you gotta fucking find that, but like, I don't know. It paints him like looking at things in such a black and white way that's like he'll be entertaining to watch, but man, I would not want to be friends with this guy. He just seems like a crazy person. Like, oh, I gotta love, I gotta do it, I gotta go to Terrace House, I'm gonna do this thing. And
if you want love, just fucking download Tinder. Like, you don't have to go.
This is my favorite thing from these episodes. Do you want Matt, guess what my favorite thing is? It's about this guy coming on the show. What is my favorite interaction from him talking to his restaurateur man about coming on the show? I want you to guess. What did I like about their conversation that I thought, yes, good stuff? If you don't have an answer, it's fine. I don't want to make you sit on air holding your breath for 10 minutes. I was just gonna say you've had a good run at guessing the thing that I like about these, because you're like, that's stupid, and I love these stupid.
Wait. Is it that he bowed to the guy before he left? Or?
I did like that, but that wasn't what sold me. My favorite thing was when he was telling the restaurant man that he was leaving, and he's, the guy owns a restaurant in LA, so he's like, hey, I've had a lot of actors come in here and work for me, and you seem like you're trying really hard, so if you think this is what you have to do, go and do it, whatever. And if you fail, give me a call. My favorite thing was that he is like, and if you fail at this, give me a call. It's just like this might not work out, and if you need a job, you can come back working here.
I read that completely different. It sounded like him like trying to like, he's like, if you need like any help, just like give me a call and I can like give you my perspective and like help you out. So it's like, I thought he was like help him like.
I think he's saying if it doesn't work out,
that's like dumb.
Yeah, no, I think he's like, you can come.
It's dumb.
Yeah, I think he's saying, hey, you can get this job back if you really can't be an actor. And
he's like, you're a hard worker, so like,
yeah,
maybe I don't become a good actor, or you can be a hard worker for me if that's what happens. I don't know.
Yeah, I would really. I want to know this guy's name now, because I want to spoil this for myself and see if he's become a successful actor or not. I'm gonna take a guess and say no.
I think, well, when he was talking to the owner, he said that he has been acting around LA, but I don't think he's gotten like any big parts. Probably just like background Japanese characters and like martial arts movies type of thing. So
yeah, I mean, I guess that's honestly that's fine. Like who am I to fucking judge? Live your life and do your thing. But it just seems like he's really gung ho about like doing this thing, and it's like
go on Terrace House to show his range of acting emotions and put on lots of shows of emotion. I bet we can see lots of emotional displays of him as he tries to get the Oscar nomination from Terrace House.
Yeah, I am excited about that. That should be some
look off in the
juicy
distance,
shit.
like a solid tear roll down his eyes over the sunset, looking over Hawaii as he accomplishes his dreams.
He's not gonna accomplish his dreams at Terrace House. I'm gonna actually, we should do that right now, and from the rest of the show, when they come on Terrace House, we need to place a bet on, does this a person did they accomplish their goal? Not like, I don't care, like, oh, do they become a successful actor? Because we can't, that's harder to quantify. That's then we have to look at them outside of the show. I want us to say what they set out for themselves at the beginning of their journey, and then when they leave the house and they say, I accomplished it, I want us to give it pass or fail. I'm going to say these Naomi and Yusuke failed, in my opinion, and you can say they passed for you. Do you think they passed?
Probably not Naomi. Yusuke, maybe.
Yeah, like a C, sure.
Sure. B or C, sure, whatever.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't. If this guy's journey is to come to Terrace House, the reality television show, to find love and become a successful actor or whatever, just like his general demeanor in his intro scene, I don't think he'll find love before he leaves. What was the new girl's? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, if we're quantifying, it's like he wants to find like deep, true love, which I don't think he's gonna find. Like he'll probably find someone who will date him. Yeah. I don't know. Like in Terrace House, like history, all the relationships don't last. So like I don't know if like.
Yeah, I'm sure he will say he by the end of it has felt a deep emotional connection, and for that way he succeeded at Terrace House. I'm sure that'll be what he says. What is this girl?
Sure he goes all the way to the end. So
holy shit, that's a lot.
I feel like Anna does too. I don't know. I'm having very strong memories of both of them, and I think this is because it was like all the fucking episodes. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
What does she? So she just arrived at the house. What did she say she wanted to achieve here?
I don't think she said like I think they were talking to it, and that's when like the new guy like rang the doorbell. So
Yeah. Okay. Maybe we'll wait till next episode. And by the end of it, we have to predict if we think they will achieve their true goals.
Yeah, we haven't even met this guy yet.
Yeah,
so
it's true. I'm just saying, from the speech he gave at the restaurant, you're not getting there, bud.
You can find a woman that is into that, or is just into his hot bod, because he did seem pretty fit. So.
No one is gonna be into that.
He brought his sword with him.
Yeah, he did. He showed up with like a sword at the house before they cut. All right. Predictions for just this next couple episodes. I don't even know what I can predict right now. Avian gets closer to Yuya, and the new housemates don't disrupt it. That's all I'm throwing out there.
Oh, they did go on a date, like a dinner date, and they did basically admit to each other that they were like into one another. That's what happened with them.
Yeah. So they grew closer in these episodes. I think they're gonna keep progressing, and I doubt the new people sway them.
Yeah.
Do you hard agree?
All we can predict, like Eric's gonna leave.
Otherwise there's nothing to really predict for these.
Yeah. Lauren's she's gonna like a weird cafe art show thing, which is gonna be cool, but like I don't know what else to prescribe for her. No.
Will Lauren like the new guy? No. No.
He's 11 years older than her, and I don't think she's like
she's not in. Yeah, go ahead.
What's her face? The girl from last season who dated the 30-year-old man when she was like 18.
Oh, right. I can't even remember her name either. Yeah, but I know what you're saying. I could see Lauren dating an older guy because, I mean, despite me saying, like, wow, she's immature in some ways and does dumb things, she's also way more mature than other 18-year-olds vis-a-vis, or for, i.e. see Yusuke. So that's fine.
Also, I noticed this episode, to keep this podcast going on, that Yusuke is like so short compared to everyone else.
Yeah, he's a short king.
Like, very short. I was like, that's probably why I kept thinking he's like a little boy, because he was just like, unfortunately, like very much smaller than everyone else. So,
you think like for him personally, he sees himself as a little boy because he's tiny.
No, I'm saying myself, like that's because like I think like last episode we talked about how like him, Lauren, and you are like all the same age, but for some reason Yusuke just seems like a child in comparison.
I don't think his height has anything to do with that, to be honest. Armin was also a short king. If we're talking about
Armin also has like crush a coconut between his biceps, so like
Armin could crush a coconut between his biceps, he says. You're not wrong. All right. I don't know. I have no other predictions about this next episode.
We can't make predictions. It's too much.
There's nothing happening. I feel
it happens next time, so who knows? Nothing's happening.
Yeah.
We lost like 3 cast members. I'm gonna get like 3 more. So
yeah, I'm hopeful for the next arc, man. I think the next 2 episodes for us are gonna be fucking boring, Matt. I'm like worried about our next podcast episode because new people are going to show up, and I doubt drama will spike right away. I almost want to watch the next 2 episodes for next week. So if it is beneficial to watch 4 episodes, maybe we should just do that.
There might be drama.
I'll watch them. Well, whatever. Anyway, but
if not, we'll just come with some bullshit to pad the time with, as we usually do.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thank you everybody for listening. This has been another wonderful topical episode of the meat incident.
I'm sure they all gained a lot of information as we just spat out bullshit the entire time. I
mean, we talked about the things that happened. I mean, they're not really building anything right now. This is essentially stuff is like completely collapsing in terms of the arcs that they were building up. There were these love triangles that didn't really pan out story wise. Nothing really is happening except for the love being found between Yuya and Naomi, which is Navian, which is good. I'm happy that that's going well, but how much could we really talk about? Yeah, they went on dates and they were cute, and that's nice.
Yeah,
that's nice. I'm happy for them, but it's not really that interesting to talk about.
Yeah, the relationship's growing. That's about it.
Yeah. Anyway, hopefully more interesting stuff will happen with these new house members. Join us next time for I should shout out Dylan. Thank you at Teenage Goth Girl for making our intro and outro music. Dylan, he's great. He also streams on Twitch now. Yeah, he's been streaming. He's been playing different things. I like Dylan. He's good. Hanging out with him is
It's
fun.
like the Lovecraftian and horror type games a lot, from what I remember.
Yeah, he does that, but also right now I think he's playing through. I can't remember the name of it. It's like that indie game that was like a super darling thing a few years ago. It's like 8-bit, and it was all about like you don't have to kill anyone in the game, or you could kill everyone in the game. I can't remember.
What's up, Undertale?
Yes, Undertale. He's playing through Undertale right now. Nailed it, 10 out of 10. So yeah, he's great. Go check out Dylan in the places. You could check out me on various places at Thick Stink. I'm still streaming on Twitch. I recently made some new layouts for streaming on Twitch that are better for Caves of Cud because my head was covering like a portion of the screen, but the game is like a top-down screen-based game, so whenever I went to that part of the screen, you couldn't see what was happening. So I have a new layout for Caves of Cud if you've been watching me.
Nope.
That's fair. Hey,
the listener group chat every day, and everyone just ignores them.
I know. It's really fun how supportive my friends are.
All we do is get annoyed by using the @here command because it all pings us with bullshit again.
I like doing it now as just a troll. I stopped doing it because I think Dan is legitimately gonna like start moderating the chat like a fucking chud.
It is so fucking annoying though. Like,
is it that bad? I don't know. I get tagged in things all the time. You can just mute the chat.
That's fine.
I have every channel on Discord muted from being tagged because who wants to deal with that?
Well, usually in like a group chat when people tag you, it's for something important and not.
No, nothing important happens in the chat. Nothing important happens in our lives. We're not very interesting. You have no argument. It's right.
Maybe you're not interesting, but
all right, you're right. I haven't been keeping up with Dan's Legos lately, so
thank you. Very important to me.
I'm a fucking asshole.
We're gonna ban you now.
Listen, I have rescinded the @here, so let's fucking chill.
Okay.
This podcast is going to eventually just evolve into me and Matt talking about like our dumb Discord conversations. Anyway, check out my Twitch. Matt is at mestruble on social media. He posted about his very cool Lego build.
It's only on my story though, so then
fuck.
I mean, I could make it. I could post it. You know, I know the viewers want to hear it because everyone loves Lego, and it's very cool.
I know. I keep dunking on it, and I still I think it is. It looks neat. It's like a neat little Lego car. That's fun. I'm like dunking on Lego super hard this upload. Like it's kind of cool.
It has like a working like drive shaft and like everything. You can like just do it as you want.
Yeah, it is actually pretty neat.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about F1 racing this weekend, and I did watch a race today.
Well,
it's not that interesting. Yeah. It was actually a super boring race. But yeah, so Matt's at mestruble. The podcast is at Me Incident. We don't post on Twitter. We've only posted on Instagram. Don't look at the Twitter.
You could, but you'd be disappointed.
Yeah, you would see that it exists. We'll also check out the YouTube if you want to look at our dumb faces. It exists and it's there. Yep. Until next time, the podcast comes out every Friday at 5 a.m. Share it with people if you think it's not dog shit, but that's unlikely. We'll be back.
I have confidence in what you make, Matt. This is the greatest podcast ever. If you don't share with your friends, you are going to hell. That's what I said.
That's true. I should have a little bit more. I think we do a fine job.
Yeah.
Everything I do at the end of it, I'm like, oh, that was so bad. Oh, that was, oh gosh.
Have more faith.
Yeah, we're doing all right. We'll see you next time, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Oh wait, I forgot to do the thing. Until next time. No, we're doing it. Until next time, I'm Matt.
And I'm Matt.
This is the Meat Incident. Goodbye.